Is everybody ready? All right, now here we go. A one, a two, a one, two.
Let's get it on indeed. Welcome back, gentlemen. It's the Get Sunday Covered podcast. And today we are talking keepers for our main league. We've got 10 teams to go through today. Brandon, welcome. Jordan, welcome. It's good to see you, gentlemen. I want
Good to see you, but we can't see you.
I was going to say it'd be even better if we saw your face, but there we go.
Sorry. I didn't realize you guys were so interested, and I'm glad. Thank you so much. Check that out. It's a weird click of the button.
Mm-hmm.
So again, talking keepers, guys. I want to ask you guys: is there anything that you guys have, like just some sort of random item that you just can't seem to get rid of?
Jordan?
I thought about this for a bit, and I don't even think I'm like a hoarder of anything. If I had to say anything, it would be hockey sticks, like the sticks break or whatever. And I got, I don't know, probably 80 shafts in my garage.
Oh yeah.
But there's specifically one stick that I use that I bought brand new in 2002, 2003 is when the Synergy grip came out, the yellow one.
I was gonna say, is it a Z bubble?
No, it was like it was the one piece after the silver one piece Synergy, and then they came out the grip and it was yellow, and then they came out the gold one. But the yellow one, that's, I would say, mainly that
Exactly what
stick,
you're
I
talking
guess.
about.
I was gonna say I've played hockey with you for a long time, and I see you use that stick more than anything.
Yeah, so it's I would say it's a keeper in my life. If something happened to that, it'll be a sad time to replace that one.
Next time we do the pod, I'll actually maybe just give me a second. Here, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I know exactly what I'm about to do, Jordan.
All right.
You said you really up to 80 shafts at this point?
It probably is. It's funny because there was a guy there Friday night, a newer guy. You might have met him when you were out here playing. Um, he asked me about, he was looking at my stick. He's like, "That's pretty old. Do you have any extra shafts?" And I was like, "Yeah, honestly, I do. Like, I'll take a picture when I get home and I will share it with you." So I sent it to him, and he's like, "Yeah, if you can just bring a couple, I'll buy one of them from you." And he specifically requested a Nike Bauer shaft is what he was after. So I know I do have one.
You got
there,
a whole
so,
marketplace of
yeah.
sticks.
So I know I'll be able to bring him one. So, but yeah, it's just
That's good.
better than buying a brand new stick every time. You just got to put a blade in it.
All right.
So let me ask you then, is it like full on nostalgia for you, or is there like something sentimental about that stick, or is it just like your favorite, or what?
I would say I don't. It's a good stick. Like I said, it's got the grip, so it's got a grip texture to it, and I think it says it's a 100 flex stick, but with how many different blades I've put in that shaft, I'd say it's probably closer to like a 70 flex, 75. It's pretty flimsy, so definitely only works for roller now. Like if I took that thing for ice hockey, like I'd probably just break the shaft just passing.
Shatter it.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So say nostalgia, and it's a just a good stick for me.
Nice. Brandon, what you got?
All right. So I know we were talking about the yellow Synergy.
Oh shit, is that Theo's?
So
Is that
Theo Bauer did like these mystery stocking sticks, and one of the ones I got was the Synergy, and I was like, this is nostalgia for me. So I know exactly what you're talking about with that.
That's awesome.
In terms for me, I mean for me, I have like a shit ton of the old school like McFarlane's. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the little hockey figures, figurines.
Yep.
I have a shit ton of them. in my parents' basement, and then just like Funko Pops. I have a shit ton of Funko Pops.
You and
Uh,
Seven both, man. Seven's all about the Funko Pops.
yeah, dude, I have like 5 grand worth. It's a lot.
I don't get the craze around those things, but
Well,
I have
I mean, I've probably invested like $1,000. I mean, I have one alone that's a Ken Griffey Jr. one, and it's an air. It just says Ken Griffey. It doesn't say Jr. on it. So if I was to sell it, it's like $400 itself.
been yeah,
Oh,
I
heck.
know they're worth money, but I don't like I said, I just don't get the craze behind them. Um I don't know. I have Magic the Gathering cards. I wouldn't say those are like keeper stuff, but that's like stuff like that where it's something from when I was a kid and just hoping one
Be
day
worse.
be able to sell it for some. I know some of the cards in the collection me and my brother have, some of those cards he has, I know specifically are worth over 1,000 right now. Like I've told him to come get them. So if he doesn't get them, it looks like I might be starting an eBay account to sell those cards and give him
That's so
50% of the
great.
profit for doing the work. So, but yeah, Magic was a fun game.
Well, I think about that kind of not necessarily sentimental value, but just kind of understanding the value of what you actually have. And that's what we're talking about today, guys. We're going to jump into it. We've got keepers on the board. We're getting ready to determine our draft order, our league 10 team full PPR. We did actually, after our last episode, we transitioned to 3 wide receiver this year. So that is going to be a little bit of a change up. 3 wide receiver, 1 flex. Jordan, you don't seem too happy about that one. But
No, I wasn't.
I'm going through the list here, looking at everything. A lot of big names on this list, guys. I don't know how you're feeling. Um, we get to keep one player after the 10th round that either they were drafted after the 10th round or they were picked up on the waiver wire. That's the only eligibility that they have. And going through it, man, I see a lot of big standout names here. Jordan, you've got a couple of them actually. So how are you guys feeling about this year's keeper class?
I mean,
Definitely some
good.
big names for sure.
Yeah, good thing is everyone only gets to keep one. So they can't all be as good as Raheem Mostert for me last year, but
Dude,
you never
honestly, that was
know.
insane. Maybe one of the best keepers I've seen.
Yeah, that was 14th. And I think, well, technically, I think it was free agent. So it was the 14th round. And he was RB2 finished. So,
What was crazy about that one too is you were flip-flopping between Mostert and Pacheco, right? And
and
then you
I,
ended up with Pacheco anyway.
yeah, and I traded Pacheco to you. And,
Yeah, what a
um,
score, man.
yeah, so it worked out well. Like that was, I wasn't expecting that to honestly end up with both of them when I was going between them. And I don't know, it worked out. That trade wasn't the best for me, but obviously, if you know how trades were going to work out, you would never make them in the first place. So you got to take a little bit of risk to get that reward.
I just find it amusing you say that trade didn't work out for me as you're coming off of your second championship in 3 years. So you can
Hey,
go ahead
it's
and fuck
because I made
yourself.
other trades that worked out better.
AKA didn't make other trades that wouldn't have worked out. If you guys don't understand that reference, run it back into our episodes about mid-season last year when Jordan almost gave up CD Lamb. That's a good one. Brandon, I'm going to run it to you. Let's start off with our first team. We're looking at Joe right now. He's got a laundry list of players that are available for him to keep. Some maybe worth something, others maybe not. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so he has Brock Purdy, Jaden Reed, Lockett, Schultz, Dalton Schultz, Demarcus Robinson, Gus Edwards, Kenneth Gainwell, OBJ, and Tyler Boyd. Definitely a
It's like
massive
his
list
whole roster.
of, I mean, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 players. That's insane. Um, Majority of his roster, I mean, he either picked up on the waiver wire. I mean, he did pick up on the waiver wire. So, definitely going to be interesting to see um, who he keeps. I'm kind of with you, Cody. It looks like you're thinking Purdy. I'm thinking same realm, maybe Jaden Reed. But that's kind of where I'm thinking he'll be in terms.
Yeah, I don't have it right in front of me. I suppose I could look it up, but I'm too lazy right now. For me on this team, Purdy's kind of the obvious choice. Is this was a waiver wire pickup for him. Um, Good option there at tight. I guess I would call it a decent option at tight end. But
Dalton
the only
Schultz
other
isn't
one
too
I would
bad.
look at on this list is Jaden Reed. So if you've got a decent starting quarterback on a fire offense, that just improves your draft, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't know what else you would do with this team.
Yeah.
Jordan, what do you think of any of these guys on this list? Jaden Reed,
Yeah.
I don't know. Everybody that I listen to, they're high on him,
I
but
that's immediately who I if this is who I was picking, my picks are I'm just never high on a quarterback. Somehow I end up with Lamar Jackson and it works out. I never really want him. But honestly, the two names I would honestly maybe take a flyer or a chance on Gus Edwards just because he might be the starter in San Diego, or excuse me, the LA Chargers. Um, and I don't know,
the San Diego Chargers.
might have a starting running back to off the bat, new team, new head coach. You never know, but yeah, for me, it'd be probably first choice would be Jaden Reed, Jalen Reed, and Gus Edwards. I mean, I think Purdy's the safe choice. Like if you're looking maybe not little bit of risk for higher reward, I'd say between Edwards and Reed, you might have a little higher chance at that position and be able to get a quarterback late still.
No, yeah,
So
I
if
agree
I'm
with that.
understanding correctly, it sounds to me like your strategy when it comes to keepers is more of like a skill position player. You're not looking at the onesies like quarterbacks or tight ends. You're looking for somebody that's got that PPR value.
No, and yeah, I don't. I mean, I think we'll get to my team later, but I think I have a better choice at tight end for a keeper, and I'm not going to keep him. I tight end is so finicky unless your name is Kelsey. Realistically, like, yeah,
Kelsey.
George Kittle has all the upside in the world, but the dude can't stay healthy. He's kind of like Troy Polamalu. That dude's going to go 110% every week, and if he gets injured, he gets injured. But that's not what he's thinking about. He's just looking at every play, one play at a time. So tight ends are tough for me.
Actually, I just want to interject real there, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but your comment just now about George Kittle, I was listening to the CBS Fantasy Football Today podcast the other day, and they had an interesting stat about George Kittle, and everybody has that same kind of um, like notion of George Kittle that he just can't stay healthy, and apparently, and I don't know it for fact, so don't quote me on this, but they said something like in the last like 6 years or 4 or 5 years, whatever, he's played 14 of the 17 games.
Like
Like
on
banged up or not, he's not out as much as people think that he is. I think he shows up on the injury report a lot, but I I digress. I hear what you're saying, but I did find that interesting. So
Gotcha.
All right, let's continue on. Seamus is next. He's got Zeke, Adam Thielen, Tua, and Sam Laporta. What you guys thinking?
There's only one name on that list that you're keeping,
Yep.
and that is a tight end at Sam Laporta because I think he is going to be the tight end one this year. Uh, Staying healthy and Jared Goff staying healthy. I think what he did as a rookie last year speaks for itself as a tight end position because not only are you running routes, you got to do blocks and know all that too. So I don't know. I'm expecting a big year out of Laporta. Adam Thielen's just older. I feel like, yeah, is he going to have a decent season? Yeah. Zeke going back to the Cowboys, probably have a decent season, but nothing great. And Tua, I don't trust Miami. I don't trust Tua. You put a good quarterback down there, that team's different.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty obvious choice taking Laporta here, in terms of value. Um,
I'm going to play
continue on.
a little bit of devil's advocate on this one. Just based off of the two things that you both just said, Brandon, in terms of value, Jordan talking about the inconsistency of tight end. I do want to throw a little of attention to Zeke back in Dallas. He's clearly the RB1, right? well, maybe not clearly, but I don't know. Like at the cost, if tight end is actually as vulnerable as some of us think slash know that it is, me personally, I probably would keep Laporta too, but I do think there's some attention that needs to be paid to Zeke being there.
I don't disagree.
He's not going to be there for long, and he doesn't have much left in the tank.
I,
Maybe Dallas just runs him into the ground. He gets a ton of carries per game, maybe a touchdown. He ends up with 6 or 7 on the year. I don't know, man. If you're looking for late value on a starting running back, I don't know.
yeah, I think, I don't know. He's definitely just old for a running back now, and his obviously best years are behind him. The only chance you might take him is because he is on a good team. And like you said, who's he really competing with? I don't even know who the RB2 is in Dallas right now. Like,
Rico Dowdle.
Yeah, the Rico
so
Dowdle.
I just think he's probably going to get a fair share amount of carries, maybe 60-40. Maybe it turns into 50-50 just because he is younger. But yeah, to your point, Zeke's older and they ran him into the ground before. So he's always saying, feed me. Maybe this is the year he just gets fed. So
Go out with a bang, I suppose.
mhm.
All right. Everybody good on Seamus's team? We're all kind of
Yes, sir.
consensus on the portal
Yep.
with that one, I think, right?
Moving
We'll
on.
move on to Stefan. Kind of quietly, sneakily changed his name to Choking Hazard. I'm not sure if he's going to keep that or not, but this poor guy, he's having a rough go. He's consistently one of the best owners that we have in this league. And I gotta say, I'm really intrigued by a couple of names on this list here. Stefan's keepers this year, he's looking at Isaiah Likely, Anthony Richardson, and Kyron Williams. Holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really I don't know if I'm going likely. Um I'd probably go Anthony Richardson or Williams. Probably leaning more Williams with the year he had. But I mean, if you want to take the risk on a quarterback and you want to run a quarterback, go for it. But in terms of running backs, I probably take Williams. Yeah,
I'm looking it up right now. I'm going to see. I'm pretty sure Kyron was a waiver pickup. Yeah, because that was Seamus's pickup last year.
correct.
So if you're telling me that you can get Kyron Williams in the 14th or 15th round, coming off of the year that he had in an offense that is sure to use him close to the same as they did last year. Man, I don't know. Jordan made a really good point about quarterback. I would love to have Anthony Richardson on my team this year, but if you can stash Kyron and maybe even get another quarterback in a higher tier with your drafts because you don't have to worry about that pick, shit.
Right. That's where my thinking is as well.
Yeah, same boat, I'd say. I mean, Anthony Richardson is one of those quarterbacks where he's got that upside where he could be putting up those 40-point games every week because he is getting 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns every week. The only thing that worries me is he got knocked out early last year. Guys are just bigger and faster in the NFL than they are in college. So definitely scare me with him running. Yeah, I think Kyron Williams is the guy you got to take right here. He's on a decent team, good offense, and they have good wide receivers. So they can spread it out with them. And yeah, they're going to use him. Obviously, look what he did last year. So
Yeah, I hear a lot of analysts being really high on Anthony Richardson, and I definitely get it, but I also understand what you're saying. It's like what you've played 2 full games in the NFL and
yeah,
you just got destroyed, So
Yep.
how much of that is going to affect him mentally? How much of that is going to affect the way that he plays his game? What made him so great as a prospect in the beginning? Are they trying to change that as a team? I'd be scared of Richardson, but again, he's another one he can keep in the last round. Even if he went his entire drafted a full roster with another quarterback, he could keep him just
Yeah.
to see, let's say week 4, week 5, Richardson's going off, then he's got the option to be like, yep, glad I
Yeah,
kept
use
that guy.
him.
All right,
I
Cody,
guess
you're
clearly,
next.
With
yeah, I'll make mine short and simple, guys. My only options are Jerome Ford and Rashee Rice. Um, I really have no interest in keeping Rashee Rice. There's too many question marks for me. It's not going to be worth any kind of value in return, in my opinion. He's going to be gone for long enough that Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy can build that relationship with Patrick Mahomes. And to be honest with you, it's kind of a crapshoot there in Kansas City anyway. Mahomes is going to give the ball to the guy that's open. I'd rather keep Ford in the last round just to have a starting running back. I know that Nick Chubb is coming back. I'm not as excited as a lot of the analysts and social media channels are about Nick Chubb. He is another year older. He's coming off of a devastating injury. I think the job is Jerome Ford. So I'm telling you guys right now, if I keep anyone, that's going to be the guy.
Quick and easy, love it.
I don't even have a argument to that. It's either him or roll the dice and don't have a keeper and full new team.
And I didn't realize that those were my only 2 options at the end of the season. I really was going for broke, man. Like I was ready to like make my push into the later postseason. And then once I got eliminated by Joe, coming for you, Joe, I was like, shit, man, my options are next to nothing, honestly. Like I said, if I keep one, it'll be Ford. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to be honest with you.
Guess we'll find out.
Don't blame you.
I wouldn't blame you for if you didn't have a keeper this year. So I wouldn't blame you at all. All right.
Brandon, we'll move on to your team. Kind of the same thin options here. We'll start off with the big name here, Zamir White, running back for the Las Vegas Raiders. Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Devin Singletary, a trio of running backs here. That was kind of your thing last year, man. I put out a stat in like week 10 or week 12 or something like that, but you had 6 of the top, I think 5 or 6 of the top 10 running backs in fantasy last year on your team. Are you going to keep one of these guys?
Yes.
Zamir White, there's no argument.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no, well, I mean, I don't know.
You could say Singletary, but
If he was still on Houston and Joe Mixon didn't go there, I would say yeah, and he was the clear number 1. But no, Zamir White is Josh Jacobs is out of town, and they like to use primarily one running back as a workhorse. So
And they
I
want to run the ball in
I
Vegas.
I honestly think best case Zamir White is if Gardner Minshew is starting at quarterback because Aiden O'Connell. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't believe in him, but at least Gardner Minshew can throw the ball down the field.
they did bring in Madison too, though. But I mean, they brought him on a 1-year deal, $2 million.
Yeah,
Oh, Alexander?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. As
I
a
thought-
And he had
flyer,
a shit year last year.
Quarterback.
So
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's Zamir White's job to lose.
yeah,
I mean, he's the
Zamir,
clear RB1 right now if I'm in Vegas.
yeah, 100%.
And then I mean, you could make an argument for Devin Singletary, but do I really trust the Giants offense?
I don't
No.
trust Daniel Jones. Nope.
No. Yeah, I'm like 99% sure Zamir White will be my keeper. It's pretty quick
is that
and easy for me.
Was that a waiver wire pickup for you as well? So that's a last round keeper for you?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy as well.
move on to Jordan. Jordan, yours is Puka or Trey McBride?
Yeah, so obviously like that when I
I
did
mean, we're
the
talking two top 20 picks right here.
yeah, for sure. I mean, Trey McBride like came out huge for me end of the year for to win the GSC last year. Like Trey McBride stepped up big, like had some really big games for not a very good team in Arizona. So it was nice to have him. When I traded Seamus, Sam Laporta for Puka Nakua, I kind of told him like this is kind of a no brainer. Like it's helping both of us out, and I think this is going to be the keeper for us for each of our teams, regardless. Next year, yeah, I think it's Puka. I don't know how I can turn him down. Um, the offense is still good, as we spoke with Kyron Williams earlier. Matthew Stafford's still there. Um, Puka was a rookie and did great. So same thing. He'll be the 14th or 15th round pick because he was picked up off of waivers. So I think yeah, that's who
I want to
I'm.
give you a I want to give you a counter argument to both of these names, and I just kind of want to see if it sways your opinion whatsoever. We'll start with Trey McBride. Again, unreal waiver wire pickup for you. Like, I just don't get it. I don't know what it's going to take to beat you on the waiver wire to some of these names, but well done with that. My thing with Trey McBride is he's got the new wide receiver, the new toy for the Arizona Cardinals, right? Like, how much is that target share going to go down? Kyler Murray loves to focus on one dude. Now he's got somebody that he can do that with. Is he going to lose enough targets to make his ADP way too high for what you're going to get out of him? Part one. Part two, I'm going to say the same thing for Puka. Insane rookie season. Obviously, we all watched it. He balled out, right? The odds of him repeating that are very, very low. Cooper Kupp
Mhm.
coming back, he's fully healthy with a revamped offense. Kyron Williams, like you said, Matthew Stafford is there. Is Puka really going to, again, return on that ADP, which I guess it doesn't matter if you're keeping him in the last round, but does that make a difference in what you're thinking about for either of these guys?
The biggest thing for me, why like I get your point on, trying to bring up points about him. Biggest thing for me is, I mean, I'll make a bet with either of you right now. Anyone in GSC, an over under on Kyler Murray games this year, 8.5. That's
Wins?
games he plays where he's
Oh,
actually on the
really?
field. Yeah, like that's the biggest thing. Why I don't trust Arizona. Ever since he signed that huge deal, he's not healthy. So I don't know.
That's valid. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
go ahead,
Yeah.
Brandon.
just cut out. Sorry. I think for me, I'm probably taking Puka just because I can rely on Matt Stafford and the Rams offense. Much more trustworthy in comparison to Arizona.
Yep,
Yeah, but if you can
agreed.
keep a tight end in the last round and then go get a receiver that's maybe better than Puka with that pick that you're saving for a tight end, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
This
see where
is
you're
this,
coming
this is
from.
why I love keeper leagues.
I
I
just don't
yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
I just don't trust Arizona's offense is my biggest thing. Like that's what I'm worried about. Like at least with Puka, even if it is shared, like that offense, realistically, I think the Rams are going to have more wins than Arizona. They're going to put up more points than Arizona, more yards. So I'd rather take a risk in that, even if he doesn't, have a season like he did last year. I think it's still just a higher upside than it would be for McBride on Arizona.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Right.
Yeah, makes sense to me.
Next up, Ryan. He's got Devon Achane, Zach Charbonnet, or Brian Robinson. Cody, what do
Another
you think?
trio of running backs.
Yes, sir.
I'm
What are you thinking,
I'll,
Brandon?
I'm thinking chain. I mean, I feel like Miami's gonna run the ball. He had a good year last year. Even with the split share with Mostert, I still think chain is the way to go, and I think chain can take that RB1 job from Mostert.
Jordan?
um, when I look at, I think Zach Charbonnet might be the one to keep on this list just because with chain, I don't know. I'm just worried about him being a full time guy taking 80 snaps, like him staying healthy. I think he's more if they play it. I think if they play Mostert and A chain like they were in Dallas with Zeke and Tony Pollard, I think it's going to suit them best to do it like that. Like look at Tony Pollard. Look how good he was. Kind of as a backup to Zeke or a changeup, and then when he had his full time as a being the main guy, he didn't do anything. So that's kind of what scares me with Chain is just a smaller, explosive back. And I think you bring him in for those screen plays, you know, 10, 15 runs a game. And if he breaks one of them for 80 yards and a touchdown right there, it's worth it in itself. But I don't know. Him as a full time starter, at least Zach Charbonnet is a bigger guy. But I think Chain has the bigger upside for more higher games and points. But I think Zach Charbonnet is your more safe overall number one guy in Seattle.
See,
And
I'm going to flip it, and I'm gonna go the third running back name here. I think people are, I wouldn't say blinded, but very infatuated with how well Devon Achane, I'm going to say it differently just so we can keep fucking up his name, however he says it. Devon Achane had a couple of huge games last year, but you got to remember Miami did draft another running back this season. I think they're going to split it up between more than just the two guys there. And I don't know, like we saw, I don't know that he's going to last 17 games. It's not going to happen. So I guess, again, being as a waiver wire pickup, if you keep him in the 14th round, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm looking at Zach Charbonnet and Brian Robinson. Their ADP is considerably lower than this guy. So if you keep one of these guys, I'll even say Brian Robinson here. If you keep one of these guys in the 14th round, and then even if you want Devon Achane, you can still try to go get him and then have both of them if you want. I mean, I guess you could really slice that either way and do that with any of these guys, but I don't know. Like, I don't love any of these options for this team, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely tough. I would not want to be in Ryan's shoes. He doesn't really he's gonna have to kind of pick and choose. Um, that being said, looking at Steven next, he's got Josh Palmer, Chuba Hubbard, CJ Stroud, Tank Dell, Romeo Dobbs, and Curtis Samuel.
I'm really excited to talk about this team.
Yeah.
Steven's he's got a decision on his hands, if you ask me.
Well, elaborate away.
I mean, look at the Texans. Okay, there's CJ Stroud, Tank Dell. That when I look at this list of players that he has here, those are the only two names that really stand out to me, maybe besides Romeo Dobbs. And if I have these other two guys ahead of him, Romeo Dobbs is out. Stroud, unbelievable, obviously. Tank Dell, also unbelievable, but dude got shot. You know what I mean? Like, and then he's also dealing with like a huge target share there. So I think both of these guys are a very reasonable option for me. Off the waiver wire, I think I'm probably keeping CJ Stroud for the upside.
I
You
agree.
keep him in the last round, you don't have to worry about quarterback in your draft. Then you go out and you hammer receivers. Take the chance on picking up one of these Houston guys. It doesn't have to be Tank Dell. We're going to talk about Nico Collins in one of our upcoming teams. I would be willing to bet he's probably gone but you could probably get Diggs.
Yep.
You could probably get Mixon and still have the stack with CJ Stroud. That's my vote here.
No, I agree.
I love
Same
Tank
boat.
Dell and I think he's a great receiver, but I'm taking the quarterback in the last round, and then I don't have to worry about it my whole draft.
Yeah, I think I'm there too. This is I think where I'm taking a quarterback in the situation, just because you guys already, or Cody, you brought it up with the share there with them picking up Diggs. They already had Nico Collins. They got Joe Mixon now. I mean, Houston is like legitimately my like pick right now to win the Super Bowl next year. Um, just because I think
Whoa, hot.
they were on the verge last year. CJ Stroud's a rookie. Everyone says people are going to get to know him, this and that. Yeah, I think they are, but I don't think it's going to matter with him. I think he's just going to be a good quarterback, and he's got good weapons around him. They got a good defense, got a good head coach. So yeah, CJ Stroud is who I'd be taking if these are my choices.
Yeah, he's got a lot of new toys to play with, so he's going to
I just
have
hope
a stellar
for
year.
I just hope for Steven's sake that if he does keep CJ Stroud, that it's as exciting to watch as it was last year. Because I was in a waiver wire battle with him to get CJ Stroud, and the dude's awesome, and I hope he balls out again this year. So I'm rooting for this dude. And Steven, if you don't keep him, man, I may be looking for him because this dude's awesome.
I'm gonna be snatching him up too.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. 7, he's got Brandon Cooks, Zach Moss, and Hollywood Brown.
Yeah, this one's
Kind
pretty
of like
easy for me
Cody's.
too. What's that?
I said kind of like yours.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. This is easy for me. I'm taking Hollywood Brown. I want a piece of that offense. Mahomes needs a receiver. It's a veteran receiver. You know, he may not be the speed guy that Xavier Worthy is, but give me Hollywood Brown, dude.
Yep, I agree. I would want a piece of that Kansas City offense. I'm taking Hollywood Brown.
Uh, thing that scares me about Hollywood Brown is like, what has he done?
Yeah, like he's
Like, what
not
have you done
good.
recently? Like, so that's where it worries me with him is trying to look up like some stats for him because I know like he just past 2 games like I don't feel was very good. Like I don't know, like last year he played 14 games, averaged 6 catches, 51 yards, and he had a total of 574 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like I get it, he's on a better offense, but you
Ouch.
you even brought it up uh about Kansas City earlier. Mahomes doesn't care who he throws the ball to. He's not obviously Kelsey's his favorite target, just because I feel like he gets open more than anyone else. That's why he gets the ball. Um, I don't know. Hollywood Brown, like for me, is he hasn't done much, man. Like uh,
That's fair.
his highest receptions are 91 in 2021 with Baltimore. Last season or season, yeah, 67 and then 51 last year. So his numbers have been going down ever since his career year. And I don't know.
So let's say he comes into Kansas City and he plays the Marquez Valdez Scantling role, but he actually catches the ball.
Can catch the
Like you're
ball.
talking about a whole different player here.
No, yeah, if we're picking these three, that's probably who I'm taking just because Brandon Cooks, I don't know how he came back after that Super Bowl concussion. Zach Moss, I don't even know where he's playing right now. Indianapolis still?
He's at Cincy. He took over for
Cincy,
Joe
all right.
Mixon.
So um yeah, I think Hollywood Brown is the safe choice if you're going out of those three, just because of the offense he is playing in.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is. I don't know. I do think it's kind of similar to some of the other ones that we talked about. It seems like there's an obvious choice on the team, but I don't know, man. Like Zach Moss, starting running back for Cincy, ice cold Joe Burrow is back looking like Slim Shady. I feel like Zach Moss could have a pretty good role. I mean, he's been on a tear. I feel like he got kind of a fire lit under his ass in the last year or two of his career, and maybe this is the opportunity he needs to be, top 10 running back. Keeper worthy, Brandon?
For me, I'm going Hollywood Brown. I see the upside in Zach Moss. But I would just go with Brown if it was me. Yeah.
Especially full PPR, now we're 3 wide receiver. I get it.
Yeah. Moving on. Last one, Whitney. She's got Spears, Tucker Craft, Chris Olave, Ferguson, and Nico Collins.
All right, real quick before anybody speaks, give me your answer on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Tajay
Nico
Spears.
Collins. No, you're fucking lying, dude. There's no way you're keeping Tajay Spears over Nico Collins.
Because of that share. He doesn't have to deal with Derrick Henry, and he's going to have Tony Pollard there, right? But I think Tajay Spears is a clear number one there.
You're gonna give Nico Collins back up to the draft
Why are you giving Tank Dell up to the draft?
because you have CJ Stroud as an option.
I mean, I see that, but I just think I don't know.
I think they're too stacked at the target share is going to be, you're going to have.
You got Stephon Diggs now, and that's what worries me is
Yeah.
he's going to come up and blow that team up, and they're going to be in the dumps because of him or something. Being Odell Beckham Jr. 2.0.
You shut your mouth.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think Spears is just, I think could have better value and higher points and better games than Nico Collins, just because nothing to take away from Nico Collins, but you just have another top wide receiver that has been proven in the league to be a number one guy on your team now and is maybe the third best option.
Yeah, but you're talking 50-50 with Tony Pollard when you're going Tajay Spears.
How do you know it's going 50-50 though, when he was almost getting 50-50 with Derrick Henry?
The same way that you know that the target share is going to be unfavorable for Nico Collins.
Or you just take Chris Olave.
There you go.
And
There
yeah,
you go.
with what the hell?
Derek Carr crash.
Yeah, Derek Carr throwing the ball to him. I was going to say Derek Anderson, but he hasn't been in the league in about 10 years. But yeah, Derek Carr. Sorry, Seven. I don't trust anyone on New Orleans. Maybe Kamara, and that's pushing as long as he catches the ball 7 times a game.
It worked out for me last year. I'll say that.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. This one's tough, man.
That's like there's
I
realistically
did not
like
expect you to say Collins.
three. I mean, I think you have like 3 guys on there that are, are decent choices. Yeah, I think Nico Collins is probably your safest choice just because he is on a good team, proven quarterback, guys around him, proven running back. Like I said, good defense. So I don't know. Yeah, I guess if I don't know, it'd be hard for me to turn away from Spears, man. Like I said, Derrick Henry's not there anymore, and he had a good year as a rookie. So
I want to look something up real quick, so you guys fill the air while you can.
it's their
Great job, gentlemen.
I'm looking up Olave right now. I'm just looking at something.
So
I think Chris Olave is
9th pick in the 10th round for Olave.
Olave would be, he averaged 14.46 points per in a full PPR. Collins, he had 17.4. And then Spears, 9.05. And that was his rookie year, obviously. Split with
Derrick Henry in front of you.
Derrick Henry. Did have a couple games where he did blow up into the top 20 in 1, 2, 3, 4 games last year.
And Nico Collins got to play without Tank Dell for half the season.
Yeah. I mean,
And without Stephon Diggs. So
like I said, I'm personally I'm taking Olave. That's just me. I'll take my chances with the Saints. He's obviously gonna get the ball, and I mean he's by far their clear number one wide receiver. And if he can get, a touchdown every 2 or 3 games, every other game, I guess, that'll work out tremendously.
Well, yeah, I think she's when he's got tough choice. I think she's got three decent picks that she can choose from out of them. So just
Watch
glad
her
I'm not
keep the tight end.
in Ferguson plays for the Cowboys. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it. And this is what gets me excited about this format is being able to like I know Jordan, you don't mock, but when I look at these mock drafts, I'm like, okay, so realistically, how many of these players are really going to be gone in the draft? And that just kind of skews everything. So I'm excited about it. For those of you that don't know, our keeper deadline is 1 hour before the draft. So we're not going to know aside from ours probably until draft time comes. But in the meantime, a lot of big names that are going to be on similar teams this year for us. So what do you guys think? Is that going to do it for keeper discussion? Any other thoughts, questions, or anything about that? What do you
Mm,
guys think about the question for the league changes? We talked about maybe moving the keeper round up, maybe keeping more than one. What was your guys' vote on that, if you don't mind me asking?
I I think I voted for because it's the 10th right now.
Yeah,
yeah,
one
So
after keep.
I think I did the 11th round. I'm always for
What do
moving
you,
it back because it's I mean some of the best choices here are guys from free agency. I
oh
mean,
yeah, waiver wires. Yeah,
so
for sure.
yeah. The
that's
waiver
why
wire is where majority of these guys are going to come from.
Yeah.
I was sad about the wide receiver flex. Just because I don't know. I don't know. It's fine either way. Like it's not a big deal, but
I like the 2 and 2.
yeah, I think the flex just gives you
You both did.
more options. So
Really? See, for me, I look at that, going three wide receiver, it kind of makes that pool of players a little more shallow once the draft is done, right? So you gotta roster some of these bigger names, and then you don't have them sitting on people's benches. So if we're talking trades and we're talking waiver wire midway through the season, I think it needs to be a little bit more in depth than trading people like CeeDee Lamb and Puka Nacua and names like that, where like these people are realistically started every week. They're not just taking up space on a bench. That's my thing.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, guess with
Brandon, what do we got coming up
yeah,
for GSP? We're starting to really roll into it, so we're happy
yeah.
to get this one
So
out. You got some things planned for us or what?
yeah, we're gonna do a draft order reveal. Figuring out how we want to go about that. If you have any ideas, don't hesitate to reach out to me.
It
Um,
will be random.
it
Don't
will be
worry.
random, yes. But if you have any ideas, I know Jordan's idea was something we were talking about a little bit before the pod. Um, can do that, or we can
Yeah,
just.
Jordan, just one more time, run that idea by us because I
I
fucking
love it.
love it. I think it's great.
So
It
if we
it
just
just adds a whole new aspect to draft order.
so if we just put everyone's name in a hat, all 10 names, and we just pick a name and you're first and say Cody's name is picked first, then Cody has 24 hours to choose what spot in the draft he wants, first through 10th. He doesn't have to take the first pick.
Any pick,
Yep,
doesn't matter.
take anyone he wants. So, and then obviously once that spot's taken, second choice, you get the pick and so on and so forth until the 10th pick, you get what is left. So I think it just mixes it up and it's
I
different
love
than
that
just
idea.
getting first overall. Cause for me personally, I really don't want first overall. Um, as you said before, proven history. It doesn't mean that you're going to do great or you're going to win the league or any of that. So, but obviously it's never a bad option getting the first overall pick because it's usually someone that produces hopefully without knock on wood, without injury. But
Yeah. I think that's a cool idea, man. We'll talk about it. We'll pitch to the league one more time, but be prepared, guys, because we are going to start. We are just under a week away from being a month away from draft day. So I think we decided 30 days out. That's when we're going to announce the draft order. So be prepared, be ready. And Brandon, it sounds like too we might have some other interesting episodes coming up. Maybe a surprise guest a little bit. Don't want to give
Yeah.
away too much, but might be somebody that knows a little bit something about football.
Just a smidge, just a little bit, but definitely will be a special guest, and really looking forward to that pod. That'll be coming probably right before the season. And then obviously we have the fantasy club. You haven't signed up or joined yet, be sure. Got some leagues already starting. Definitely want to get in now so you can get in next year if you do win a league into that Champions League, because that league is going to have some sweet prizes from us for the winner. And then definitely, other leagues are going to be kicking up here in the coming months, or in the coming month, essentially. Definitely want to make sure you're getting in, getting your leagues all situated. I know Cody's running a league. I know I'm running a league. Jordan's probably running a league. I know most of us are going to be running leagues outside of GSC, and making really as much as we can for this club to grow. We do want to continue to grow and make things happen. I know we just did the early version of the best ball league. Cody and I were in that. I know that was 10 teams. So really just looking forward to continuing to move that forward.
Yeah, guys, seriously, if you're interested, really give it a look. If you're not in the club yet, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. For our Facebook group, we did a way too early version of a best ball draft. Winner of that league this year gets up to $30 off of any of our tournaments next year, be that March Madness, NHL, NBA playoffs, things like that. If you win that, obviously, if you're in it, good job. If you're not, you missed out. But that's the kind of stuff that we're trying to do for you guys this year. So jump on, tell your friends, all your leagues, let them know, send the links. We'll put them down low. But yeah, that's where we're at. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to be back.
too.
Probably gonna kick up every other week right now, so be prepared until we're every week come football season. But don't forget to like,
Yeah, we're not
comment,
too far away.
subscribe if you haven't already.
Hey, you
And
know what the start of football means?
hockey's
What's
right
that?
around the corner.
CC hockey's closer, and then that means NHL's closer. So
Yes, sir.
ready
Let's
for it
go.
all.
Yes, yes.
It's the best time of year, man.
You're-
From September 1 to like November 1 is the best time of year, hands down.
Seriously, we're right around the
October
corner.
October is the best sports month in sports. Every sport is going in the month of October.
Yep,
So
Yes, sir.
we're right there. But
Hey, 38 days till draft, you guys. Make it happen.
sweet. Well,
awesome.
till good next time, guys. Peace. We'll see you on the other side.
See you guys.
Ooh.